Greetings. Run Tell That family. We are back. We're back. We're back in the lab. And this is a special show. Y'all know, I always say all our shows are special. Everyone that comes on Run Tell That is special people. But this is a special family right here. Special family right here. We got, some of y'all know her. She's been on before. Y'all know Reverend Dr. Carolyn Jordan. She's in the house. Glad to have Reverend Jordan right here, Dr. Jordan right here. Then we got our boy. The one, the only, the wordsmith in the house. You know, I tell you, you got the blacksmith, and you got the wordsmith, and you got what? Sean Wesley Edwards in the house. Our brother, bam. Glad to have you on Run Tell That. The family is here. Now, Run Tell That family. We tell y'all share. And I gotta do this right now because there was a homegoing service for someone that was a very great person, a person who was a supporter of us with all the things that we did. And Reverend Dr. Jordan was there, and that's for Reverend Frank Denegal. And so I'm not gonna put her on the spot to say anything in particular, but just for the family. For all of us, to say a prayer for the Denegal family, and also just take a moment of silence, about 10 seconds, with regards in memory of Reverend Frank Denegal.
Yeah, that's quite appropriate. He was a soldier in the Army. Longevity has its privileges, and Reverend Frank Denegal made an impact not only in the Savannah community, but out in Sylvania and other places in the surrounding areas. So we just want to honor him. He's now one of the ancestors.
Yes, indeed.
We thank God for his life. We lift his family before the Creator on tonight. And we seek peace for the family. Amen.
Amen. Now, I'm going to tell you all this. Now, sometimes Reverend Denegal used to try to bother me. I'm just let y'all know that. Just try to bother me. When I go to Monumental, he'll just try to bother me, and see me on the street, he'll just try to bother me, because that's what he do. And then it spread to his daughter, Dakia. She try to bother me too, because sometimes she get a little beside herself. So I'm just saying, that's how they going to do. But see, now I know I'm gonna say this right here. Hey, Alice, we glad to have you with us again. Glad to have you joining us with regards to Run Tell That. We say share. And this is very special, Reverend Betty Jones. That's right. Glad to have you, Reverend Betty Jones. Glad to have you here. And there is a celebration. And yesterday I did my class I made sure my class, we discussed National Freedom Day, which is the first federal holiday created, inspired by an African person. And I made sure all my inequalities class, dealing with criminal justice, that they knew about it. Then I went and hit my folks with Gonna Get You class, let them understand that this is important and pertinent to us. But I'm just going to throw something out there. I'm getting it out the way right now, because I know some of y'all try to do. And all Makisha Gibson Carter, glad to have you here. That's right. Hello, Savannah. Hello to you. But Reverend Dr. Jordan. Yes. John, I mean, Wes, I'm trying to figure out how in the world, I see y'all got y'all little face masks, other stuff like that. I got my National Freedom Day face mask from last. Wes, I saw them. I saw the pictures. So last year,
all you have to do is stop by the office and get yours. You know we have one for you.
Okay. We're gonna move on because I was, because I saw that. I was like, red and green. I was like, okay, and she didn't even say that to me about that. But okay, we're gonna move on. Reverend Dr. Jordan, ask you this right here. What is National Freedom Day?
National Freedom Day is a very significant day, not just for those in Georgia, but it's significant for all of those in diaspora. If we understand our history, and we understand that our history did not begin with slavery. However, here on these shores, as well as the Caribbean, Africans were enslaved. And then in 1865, with the Emancipation Proclamation on January 31st in 1865, they were emancipated. However, it was not until February 1st when Abraham Lincoln signed the proclamation and signed it into law, that we began to be free as enslaved Africans on these shores. We are mindful and we mark that date. As you alluded, the founding president of Savannah State, Richard R. Wright Sr., this was his vision. And what a great vision for a man who the first 12 years of his life was an enslaved African, who understood the bridge he came across and how it needed, lest we forget. We cannot forget. And so it has been celebrated in Philadelphia. He really started in 1941, but he had to work. It wasn't until 1948, a year, in fact, after he had died, that President Truman signed it and made it a federal holiday. So that in a capsule is what it is at its inception. And I'm sure we'll talk about what it needs to be today.
No, okay, okay. And now, for some of you who are tuning in right now, glad to have y'all. I have to go and share this with you all again and understand this. Major Richard R. Wright. Some of y'all gonna say, "Oh, that name is familiar," and you're gonna say that is the first president of Savannah State University as we know it today. So, as I have shared with folks, there are not too many institutions in this country that I know of that can go and say that their first president of their institution inspired and created a federal holiday. Savannah State University can say that. Savannah State alums can say that, but a lot of us don't realize that. And so I want you all to understand about why we should have the demeanor, have the attitude that we have with the gods. And when I say that good attitude, that good demeanor, that we know that we are the best and that we are rising. Oh my God, we are rising. Oh my God, that's tied to Major Richard R. Wright when he's talking to General O. Howard. And so someone did something that is titled, We Are Rising. We're going to get into his National Freedom Day, but I just want someone to discuss We Are Rising. And that's my brother, somebody who I admire, have mad respect for, mad love for. And that's my boy, Wesley. Wesley, what is We Are Rising about?
So I'll unpack this in two different ways, right? We'll talk about the video, but we'll also I would be remiss to not articulate the importance of us following this as more of a lifestyle, right? Because rising is a way of life. You know, it's not tell them we are rising and then don't take action. It's tell them that we are rising so that they see the actions that we're taking and the strides that we're taking in an upward direction, and then they associate that with rising because that's what it is. So it's using our actions to define what that phrase actually means, right? And that's what Richard R. Wright did when he said it. He's like, yo, he's already putting the work in. The work was getting put in, and he's like, hey, just tell them to watch what we do, you know. And that's the most common terminology that we can put it in, right? Even though it's so much deeper than that. And the next facet that I want to unpack is, again, the reference to the video. So initially, the We Are Rising, 1890, welcome home, as some may know it, because that's the coin term that's utilized in it as like a hook, so to speak. It was created and inspired by the rich history of our university, right? And we've touched on some of it here on this call. And you know, Jamal, you are a professor to me, you are a mentor to me, and still continue to do so today. And I just do my best to pay it forward every time. That's why when I'm in the city, we always go get food. You know what I mean? At any time I can make it happen. So it was inspired by that energy being transferred to me because, again, like most people, when we came to Savannah State, we didn't come knowing what we were getting ourselves into. Some of us came because we didn't have another choice. Some of us came because it was affordable. Some of us came because the application was free. Some of us came because, you know, we wanted to live by the beach, but we couldn't pay out of state tuition, so we couldn't go to Florida or somewhere like that. So that was the next, Tybee Island is the next best thing, right? There's so many different reasons that we ended up there, but we didn't realize how much of a pot of gold that we landed in, so to speak, right? Learning all of the different just tidbits and things that didn't even necessarily make it to the textbook is what made me have even more pride and an even stronger backbone in both representing and supporting my HBCU. So every time that I have an opportunity to speak about my HBCU, hold my HBCU on a pedestal, and even when people see my greatness, I make sure that they know where I came from. Because there's so many times where, you get in the professional realm and people are like, oh, that's Savannah State. They might put your application to the side because they see that's your alma mater. But guess what? I get in the door and they're talking to me. They forget what they read on my resume. They're like, oh, you went, where'd you go to college again? It's right there in your face. You got the resume on the desk. You know where I went to school. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little passionate about it. But again, it takes for us to represent what it truly means, because just like we were ignorant to it at one point, the world is ignorant to it until we get in those places and we continue to wear that as a badge of honor on our sleeves. So that video, in a nutshell, was created to both encapsulate the pride, remind people of the beautiful things that were present in Savannah State, as well as also keeping certain parts of the history alive that I learned. You know what I mean? Like you said, Savannah State, as we know it, we see how much rapid change has been taking place, right? The Marshside Sunrise, where you used to be able to go to get breakfast. You know what I mean? And that's not there no more. You know what I'm saying? They changed the name of it. They got a Chick-fil-A in there now. There was a Pizza Hut back there once upon a time. Adams Hall, the parties in Adams Hall. Just how packed out the U would be after basketball games. They remodeled the furniture and remodeled the steps in the student union, et cetera, et cetera. Just all of these changes are going on. So it was just so important for me to capture the relevant history to us as present day students at that time, right? So modern history. And we continue to create that, right? But we want to bring that pride and show people like this is our home. This is where we're from. Whether there's things about it that you like or things that you don't like, it doesn't matter. This is your home. So treat it as such. Represent your city.
Excellent.
And that is absolutely it, brother. That's it. And just like what you heard what Brother West said, that again, that we represent who we are. We let people understand we are Savannah State. We are Savannah State. And some people, when they've seen me around, they see me in other parts of the country, other states, and I might even at other schools, and I go and say, this is Tiger territory, and folks looking at it. Mm-hmm. So you know what he said? They're like, yeah, that's Jamal. And I've had other people from other HBCUs go and say, because we've been around him, we now rep our school. We act just like him about our school. Whereas before, they had been demure. They had basically been a little complacent about it. But they saw that, and that came from that Savannah State spirit. And what I tell folks is, I said that I am a child of Richard R. Wright. I am a child of Richard R. Wright. That's why I say anyone who graduates from Savannah State University, you are a child, you are the legacy of Richard R. Wright. And as Wes was saying, I'm like, you manifested right now. And what you didn't convey that and give that to other people for them to then manifest that also. But that's why I'm going to ask each one of them about their perspective and with regards to their lineage to Richard R. Wright. And I gotta go, because I'm gonna go with Wes first, since I had asked him the question last, but y'all know, but I gotta do this because I won't have no issue, because Claire and all other people try to say why he did that, because Dr. Jordan, what is your connection, your lineage to Major Richard R. Wright?
I think you've outlined it beautifully, that anybody who has been connected to Savannah State, whether they work in facilities, faculty, groundskeepers, alumni, we are a family. I may be biologically connected in the bloodline. Richard R. Wright Sr., yes, I'm proud to say, was my great-grandfather. But I am in awe of the connectedness. When I talk to, and I love talking to people and hear the stories of folks who grew up in Thunderbolt, who played on the campus as children. I was talking with a young lady just this week who shared there was a person who would be at the gate when they would have games, and she would let different people from the community come in and experience Savannah State. And then I talked to somebody else who told me that their mother-in-law was worked in I believe, in the cafeteria. And she took that job intentionally because she had 7 children. And all 7 of those children came through Savannah State and went to school. They were from Savannah. They didn't have to pay for housing. They didn't have to have a meal plan, but their education was provided. And as a result of that, one of them ended up being the Mr. Ogden, the director of all of the facilities. And it is amazing that it's still happening. It is amazing that I don't remember what year Sean graduated, but it has not been that long. It's been less than 5 years. But yet he is sewing back into the university with the creation of the film project that he just finished describing. And so we're a family. And the family stretches far and wide. The imprint that was made on the campus by my great-grandfather, he didn't make the imprint by himself. He didn't get the land grant to start Savannah State by himself. No, he collaborated. He networked. He was intentional working with E.K. Love. He was intentional working with politicians in the city. This is not a me thing. It's a we thing.
Yes, indeed. And Dr. Jordan, you, I kind of dislike some of the shows that I do because I begin to feel some of it, and sometimes I ask a question, and the question goes, and hit me personal with some of the responses that come out. Because when you talked about that, what Savannah State represented, because I went back and thought about when I'm a senior in high school, and I got this letter sent to me. And this letter was sent to me and said that I'm one of the top high school seniors in the city of Savannah. No one has said anything to me like that, but that letter came from Savannah State. And that letter right there made me understand that's the school I need to be at. That where I'm like saying, no one else has said anything like that, but that came from Savannah State. That even though other people might have looked and say, well, no, they ain't all that. But that letter came from Savannah State, and they said that. And that touched me. So when I was listening to you, I was like, oh, it took me back in time. It took me back when I'm a senior in high school and how that made me feel. Then they said, we are going to invite you to come to a basketball game. That when you talked about that, I'm like saying, oh, my God, that's what it's like. And I'm like saying to myself, I can go. Cause I had never gone to a college basketball game before in my life. But that was Savannah State. And that's what Savannah State did for me. And so now to my brother, Wes, before I start crying and going, crazy, with regards to this joy that I have for this institution. My brother, what's your lineage to Savannah State? And to Richard R. Wright in particular?
So, I mean, number one, you're not alone, right? She articulated everything that she intended so beautifully that it gave me chills at a certain point. I felt moved. One might call it catching the Holy Ghost almost. I just felt compelled to just, I don't even know, just feel good, So I was with you. There was a lot of different emotions that I felt, but all of them positive. And to dive into my lineage to Major Richard R. Wright is, again, like you said, I'm one of the torchbearers. I'm one of I'm the conduit for the energy that he brought to the land that became Savannah State University. So again, they say energy can't be created or destroyed, only transferred. So I'm just one of those soldiers that's transferring that light across the land. Everywhere that I go, I'm representing. Every opportunity that I get to be involved, I answer the phone, I call back, and I'm gonna make it happen no matter, without reasonable accommodation, because that's the type of love that I have for what was created. And I'm one of his example followers as well. He's a man that I feel like resonates with my spirit, because that's the same way that I operate. But he's showing me the level at which this can be taken. You know what I mean? Like, we're out here every day making things happen without reasonable accommodation by any means necessary, ensuring that we don't accept failure or allow ourselves to fail, right? We continue to move forward. Even when we fall, we get up, we pivot, we leverage our resources, we harvest, we grow, we build. we transfer, and this is people. We're building people. We're building facilities. I just opened another facility. I opened a facility in Savannah, and then I opened this facility in Miami. And I also was a part of the opening team for a facility in Atlanta. So I just do that to put it into perspective as far as what we mean when we say we're building facilities, and then also building up people, right? Through the mentorship, through the love, through opportunities like this, right? So I'm one of his example followers. I resonate so well with a lot of the things that he did and a lot of the things that he stood for. And I feel as though, looking back at myself, and often I do have to look at myself in third person, essentially, because you got to be able to truly evaluate how far you have come, but you also have to be able to evaluate yourself to provide yourself with effective criticism, because it makes it easier for you to take criticism from the outside if you're already critiquing yourself effectively. So if I look back at myself, one of the things that I can say is that I do feel like I am a living testament and representation of the things that he stood for, and that he would be proud of me if he had the opportunity, if we had the opportunity to have an exchange with one another in real time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to the Run Tell That family, we're going to say share, share, share. And there's some things you need to understand about this institution, about this first president. And so we're going to be moving into National Freedom Day, because again, I'm going to say actually it's a part of the legacy. And Dr. Charles Elmer, one of the great scholars of Savannah State University, he wrote a book on Major Richard R. Wright. And it was something like the Prometheus. I said, why Dr. Elmore gotta use this big word like the Prometheus, such and such and so on? So why he gotta be like, wait? But when you begin to understand the legacy of Major Richard R. Wright, it's just that voluminous. It's just that great. It has that much volume to it. And what I share with people is that some of us don't understand that when you look at the NAACP, that's it. I got mine right back here. Dr. Jordan just with it pull her copy. That's it. The Promethean. I'm like, why it gotta be like that? But again, it's the wealth that this man did. And now, what I'm going to share with some of you all, what I realized, what Major Richard R. Wright was doing, because that's something I was thinking about on yesterday when I was talking to my scholars at Georgia Southern University, letting them know that, again, that this man was basically creating something that was going to be unique to all of us. Now, you have these other institutions, because again, what happened? There was a battle about, whether to use your hands or use your intellect, Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Correct. And so Major Richard R. Wright was basically understanding how we go. Teach people say, play fool to catch smile. We're going to project one thing to these folks, but we're going to still utilize our resources to not elevate our people. But then also, he's still looking on that political side too. And with regards to people talking social justice, guess what? That was a part of the foundation of Savannah State University, because that's what he was now mad. I go look back, I look at Dr. Monroe work. I look at Nathaniel Wilson. I look at these people that now will go on to other HBCUs like FAMU and going on to Tuskegee. I'm like, wait a minute. He was amassing a movement in Savannah, Georgia, and Thunderbolt, Georgia, to now address the issues for African people. That's what Richard R. Wright was doing. And so that's why Monroe Work has something called the Sunday Men's Club. Mm-hmm. And so what I share with folks is that, check this out. The NAACP, as you know today, guess what? Like, there's a gene pool for all of us. We all have a gene pool. Mm-hmm. Guess what? A part of the gene pool for the NAACP, see, they think about Overton and all of them. They're going throughout Du Bois, but there's a part of that gene pool that's coming from Du Bois that is tied to Savannah State. Because Dr. Du Bois was exposed to Savannah State or Georgia State Industrial College. He was exposed to and came down here, and he knew of the work that was happening at the place called Savannah State today. He knew of the work that Monroe Work was doing. He knew of the work that these black men were now amassing to fight for the civil and social rights of African people at the turn of the century right here in Savannah, Georgia, and Thunderbolt, Georgia. So that's when Du Bois is going to start his Niagara movement. And people are going to say the Niagara movement is a part of the origins of the NAACP. But I tell folks, I say, guess what? If you say that right there, guess what? A part of his inspiration for the Niagara movement came from what he saw at Savannah State University with Major Richard R. Wright and Dr. Monroe Work. So the gene pool for the NAACP nationally is tied to Savannah State, and many of us don't realize it, right there in Thunderbolt, Georgia. So that's why I said we had to take that type of pride and utilize that pride. And so that's why, for me, now understanding about what Dr. Elmore, not to say he was saying this, because that's not necessarily Elmo's book. That's what I'm saying for my assessment, because that's how I've been trained. That I didn't realize. I was like, check this out. That's why it ain't no mystery that he then decided to say we need to celebrate the freedom of all people in this country. National Freedom Day. Yeah.
I think,
You know,
Jamal, let me just jump in for a second, because you're also describing an intentional strategy or playbook, if you will, that we even tonight are modeling. And that would be using our resources. I'd like to say that relationships are the foundation to our purpose. And so, because he was in relationships with people, with that Sunday movement, he was in relationships with people. Then thinkers and bright minds got together, not unlike what we're doing on tonight. And so they didn't just gather to meet, greet, and eat, but they were strategizing. They were casting vision. And so that whole model is a model that all of us never need to forget, because there's still so much work to do. And now we have this benefit of technology, where Sean is in Miami, you're in one location, I'm in another location. And so we can really cast the net wide and begin to think about, as we look back, think about what's next. And that's what's exciting to me with the students at Savannah State. Your narrative about being a high school student here in the city of Savannah was replicated on our panel the other night with Justin Ellington, who is the Board of Visitors scholar, graduated from, I believe he said, Jenkins High School, got a full ride, and his whole conversation was such a blessing, because he kept emphasizing that one of the main things he wants to do with his education is give back. And so this model, and you're right, because you are a critical thinker. And so you could extract from Elmore's book. Elmore lays out the details of how things happen, how they came together, how they planned, how they met in Savannah, etc. But when you read between the lines as critical thinkers, which is what I know you're imparting in your students in your classes, and what I'm trying to do with mine, to see beyond just what was said, take it, and what is the title of this show? Just run and tell that.
Yes, ma'am, and that's it. And so with regards to this celebration, this federal holiday that was created and inspired by African person, which has been celebrated in Philadelphia, and later on, it was celebrated in the place called Hilton Head Island. Hilton Head was celebrated, and then now, when we now have Dr. Jordan here, people are now celebrating even more. And Pat West was doing, she did a celebration also, but Hilton Head, Philadelphia, places that I know was doing National Freedom Day. And a part of it was tied to Dr. Haynes Walton, who was doing research with Dr. Major Richard R. Wright. That's where he uncovered this, and he shared this information with some other his colleagues. And so they said, wait a minute, we need to be celebrating. Our first president did this. We need to do this. So now, Reverend Jordan, Dr. Jordan, what is National Freedom Day? How is it celebrated? How has it been celebrated? What's been going on? Because some of my people out there in Rantel that want to know about this, because they want to know now, how can we be a part of this right here?
First thing that they can do is to log on to SSU Student Life YouTube. SSU, I don't know if we can put it in the chat, or somebody can put the graphic up. SSU Student Life YouTube. And they can see the celebration that happened for 2022, which was just yesterday. In addition to that, they can mark in their minds and their calendar that every year, February 1st, there will be a celebration, but it's a celebration with a purpose. Our theme this year was the HBCU experience, a tale of liberation. And again, we were fortunate to use the strategy and playbook of the major. And we reached out to our colleagues our classmates, alums, and current students from other HBCUs, and they recorded videos sharing their experiences, giving insights, and encouraging and empowering students. We assembled a student panel with an international student, a non-traditional student, some scholars, etc. But we were smart enough to go and grab this young man, Sean Edwards, as to serve as our moderator. Why? He's an alum. Not as only an alum, but he has a passion. And he was able to translate that passion as the students gathered and talked. We also had a video contest. It used to be essays, but now we're in the information highway. So we had a video contest. First prize winner was awarded $1,000, second prize $750, third prize $500. That'll be dropped on their account for the fall semester. What people can do, they can, number one, watch the program from last night. Please watch it into its entirety and then log in and give us, there's a link for a survey so we can get an evaluation. Because what? We have to also be able to take criticism. We have to be able to take recommendations, because there's always room for improvement. And then there's also contact information. If you want to sow a seed into National Freedom Day, because it is our goal that we would be able to increase the scholarships.
Okay.
And so we are working. I heard a woman last night say, as HBCUs, we need to do a better job with endowments, and we need to do a better job with estate planning. And so she said for her HBCU, with her estate planning, it's already built in money to give back, because it takes money to run these institutions and to support our students. We don't want bright students like you were, top of your class, to have to worry about how they're going to pay their tuition and room and board. We need to sow into them, because as ye sow, so shall ye reap. And we want to reap a harvest.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's the wonderful thing about this. And so, Sister Terry Mobley, she's making sure that everybody know that Dr. Jordan is her Sarah. So she's making sure you know how them deltas are. But now I'm gonna say this, Mr. Producer, did you hear what Dr. Jordan has said, that the young man Justin Ellington, that he's from what high school? Herschel B. Jenkins High School. Excuse me, I made a mistake. Rewind. Heavens B. Jenkins High School. Heaven B. Jenkins High School. That's where he's from. I'm just saying that. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to my boy, my brother, just like you said, because I was a little upset. I had saw something. I said, okay, wait a minute. Wes is having, he on the panel. Wes came in town and ain't let me know. So you heard he threw out his talk. I said, come, when I get in town, me and Jamal, we going to eat. So now everybody say, oh, that was Jamal was mad because Jamal thought, but he had just flew in. He hit it, and then went back out. So that's why. So it's all good.
They say he was in and out. He sacrificed.
Right.
Flew from Miami, came in to do a taping, turned around bright and early the next morning to go back to take care of business. So I'm not going to let you come for him.
Oh, Dr. Jordan, I had called him yesterday. I was a little upset, but then he clarified. So that's why it's all about conversation, Dr. Jordan. He told me. He said, bam, he make move like that. So now that's what I want to know. So my brother, why did you do that? And what was your role with regards to all this right here? I want you to elaborate. Why did you do it? And what was your role with regards to it? And what did you find out from, again, your session that you did?
So, I mean, the seeds that have been sowed in me, as discussed previously, the fire is already lit in my heart. So something that I expressed in detail during the panel was one of the greatest tools that I received from my HBCU experience was the know-how in regards to giving back. It taught me it's easy to give back. It gave me simple platforms and methods to giving back. It taught me what I am capable of giving back that some may not even think is something that you can give, right? And that I want to kind of segue into another point real quick. Um, that is why I think it is so imperative that students and alum alike understand what they can give back if they do not have the money, right, directly to be able to give it back. How else can you benefit the ecosystem, right? How else can you strengthen that network? How can you add more value? And one of those ways, again, is succeeding in your own right and wearing that SSU badge of honor on your sleeve and holding the memory and passion and purpose and ideologies of Richard R. Wright, at least in the back of your mind, so that when a discussion comes up, you can speak to something. Show that wisdom, show that power, display those skills. But in addition to that, if an opportunity comes for you to go and give back to students that are currently undergoing a new HBCU experience, which would be the first time for them, and just like yourself or like myself, right? We didn't know what was going on at first when we got there. So we can help them skip steps by providing that foundational knowledge about our experience and planting that and imparting that wisdom on them. So now that they move forward with pride and they make the most, they squeeze the most out of their HBCU experience without any missed opportunities. With that being said, I think it is imperative that as we get into positions of power or positions of leadership throughout, after our matriculation and our adult life and pursuing our careers, or even if we create an entrepreneurial venture, that we consider the talent at our HBCU, that we tap in with the deans, that we know what's going on. If you work in STEM, tap in with the dean of STEM or cost, and reach out to those students and let them know, hey, I literally got anywhere from here, and now I'm giving you the opportunity to come with me because of the work that you put in, because of how people know you, because of what you represent and what you've accomplished throughout your years as a student. Not only that, let's say that you feel as though you haven't accomplished much. I am here to help you knock the dust off, right? I'm here to help you take an opportunity and shine that light when you're walking down a dark path because I know you. I can relate to you. I was you, right? And I think that's something that was so beautiful in this experience and being the moderator for the panel discussion was that not only through the videos, but through the students and even Dr. Jordan being present and the things that she had to add, it showed us how similar that our experiences are. It's essentially the same, right? The only thing that's different is the name of the relative that died, or the name of the professor that you struggled in their class, or the name of the scholarship that you received. Different things like that. But we've all been in those places. We've all been through those. So I like how it connected us even further. It even clarified that outside of Savannah State, the HBCU experience is the HBCU experience in its entirety, right? And that was the genius, like Dr. Carolyn said, Dr. Jordan said, in using the general's playbook in order to tap into our resources across the world, because we even brought an international student, things like that, very intentional. And then to see one of the speakers, and this is one of the ones that I know stuck with a lot of people, he is now the president of his alma mater. That was incredible to see, and then even more incredible to hear him speaking the way that he spoke about the HBCU experience. So all that I could hope to do in that opportunity is just try my best to fill the shoes that are left, right? And that's dropping what I had to drop to get up there. It was Friday. I had to work, but I just worked remote. I'm like, all right, I got something came up. I got to go do this. Y'all call me on the personal phone if you need me, because now we're out here creating playbooks instead of being bound to something specific. I'm the executor I deliver the plays. You know what I mean? I come up with the plan. I can run my job from the phone, but I earn that. I had to work 16-hour days, 30-hour days. I had to go through the immense course loads and things like that, but I kept persevering with confidence. And you were one of those people that was there for me. Dr. Jordan was one of those people that were there for me, that were pillars that supported me, that heard me out when I needed to express certain things that were going on, or if I just needed to workshop an idea, or even just needed an affirmation, letting me know that what I was doing was the right thing, because it exponentiates our ability to execute things, right? because you feel as though you have the support of those wiser than you. So I wanted to translate that to something that was tangible. I wanted to turn that into something that would go down in history, and it did.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Dr. Jordan, this is what I want to do. Where have we gone? Where are some places you've been with regards to the themes and programs for National Freedom Day? And where do you project going with regards to in the future with regards to National Freedom Day? What are these conversations? What conversations have we had? Because we know we've had like Mildly Davis. Some of y'all, the Run Tell That family, y'all know him, y'all have seen him. And so again, what have been some of the places where we have gone in the past and where we're going in the future, where we want to see us go in the future?
Well, in the future, let me deal with that part of the question.
Okay.
As a result of last night's commemoration, one of the takeaways is that we will be able to use that footage to recruit students to HBCUs. Is nothing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. We heard a reoccurring theme that many students got to their senior year and didn't know what direction they were going to go in, and didn't have. This is an old problem that's still a problem. The school counselors not encouraging them nor pointing them our way, as well as downplaying the HBCUs and uplifting the PWIs. So what better plan than to take it as a tool of recruiting? And so I talked with someone from Fisk University last night, and then again this morning. As soon as they saw it, they were typing in the chat, "Oh, this is good for recruitment." I had a conversation with a professor from FAMU who, like you, has a law degree and also has a PhD and is teaching at FAMU. She's teaching in the sciences, but her angle is social justice and STEM majors. So I'm having her come at the end of this month. No need to wait, because we have a lot of STEM majors. They need to begin to think outside the box. You don't have to just be a doctor, and I don't mean just, but there are more pathways, career pathways, than medicine and research. And so she talks about environmental science and social justice. So those are two of the things to do. As I said, we didn't just have a program to have a program. The gentleman that Sean mentioned, who is now the president of his alma mater, Dr. Matthew Wesley at ITC, there are people that now, maybe that can be a feeder school for Savannah State, for those who are interested in theological education. So the possibilities are endless. In addition, I must say this: Mark Wright and Michael Wright, my cousins who are great-grandsons of Major Wright, have their hand on the plow now and are not looking back. And so we are going to be very, very intentional and strategic. Mark's son, Adrian, was here for the first time. And of course, he caught the vision. Adrian works for Google and his brother works for Apple. And so let's use what we have in the house. Let's use what we have in the house. Another thing that I have learned that I believe the ancestors taught me is that you don't have to do everything. I know what my lane is. There's somebody else whose lane is graphics, and there's somebody else whose lane is finance. There's somebody else's lane who's detail, etc. And so that is where we need to go from here. So Mark already is planning to come to Savannah, be in dialogue with the advancement office. And so, this tale of liberation, until we're all free, ain't nobody free.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
can I jump in, Doc, to just build on that?
Mhm.
That the school, Dr. Turner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Uh, uh,
You got
but
that, brother.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is that needs to take place, right, from all of us. And I think that that's such a beautiful, infinite whole of possibility, right? Because what I do, I'm a buildings and systems engineering manager for UPS for South Florida right now. And I made it, I had to struggle from the bottom because I didn't take on as many internships or seek them out as I should have, just due to ignorance, right? Not knowing how important it is. A lot of people and students, they think, oh, once I get my degree, they just owe me 70K out the gate, or they owe me 100K. They look at these salaries and say, oh, this job, if I get this degree, I'll make 100,000. Not realizing, it's levels to this. The person that's making 100,000 may have, 5 years of experience in the job, or you start now interviewing for these jobs and you realize that you're not quite as qualified as you thought that getting a degree would have made you.
Mhm.
So understanding those things, and like you said, leveraging our resources. So you have people that work for Google and Microsoft and myself at UPS, understanding what opportunities are available. When I told people I worked at UPS, first thing they say is, "Oh, well, can you tell me where my package is?"
Yeah.
Or, "Oh, you be driving all day, huh?" And I have my own office. I don't do anything that's manual. You know what I mean? My job is on the computer and on the phone essentially. But there was a time where I was out here, grinding, physical labor. But I earned it. I displayed my intellect. I earned my position, and we can expose them to the opportunities that are available and remove that veil of uncertainty, ignorance, or just lack of awareness. Right? There's not just truck drivers here. We have project management. We have buildings and systems engineering. We have environmental compliance and environmental engineering. We have supply chain solutions. We have a healthcare sector. We have a research and development sector.
Come on.
We have all of these different. Nobody knew, right? Nobody knows. We have an automotive department because we work on our own vehicles in house, different things like that, and we have buildings all over the world. Some of the largest buildings that we have in our network are in Europe. And we have people that move to China on special assignments, that move to Europe on special assignments, got new buildings going up in California, got buildings in Canada, processing 1 million packages a day, so on and so forth. And that technology is advancing. And just like any other corporation, when the economy, fluctuates a little bit, or the coronavirus, we got the crises going on, we're looking for talent as well, because these are talented positions. These are not just manual labor positions. These are opportunities to build a career that will change your life as it did mine. And I earned it in a very short time frame. You alluded to this earlier, Dr. Jordan, when you said it's been under 5 years. I graduated in 2018. I started at UPS in 2018. I literally made it up 4 positions from 2018 to 2021, and now I'm maintaining my current position. And now I understand how to be successful in this network. Now I know the politics. Now I know how to navigate it. Now I know what they're looking for, because guess what? Now I'm also interviewing and hiring people.
All right.
So you know what I mean? So and again, shameless plug, right? I've hired 5 students from Savannah State University with my own hand, and I promoted them into full-time positions after they got their degrees because they earned it.
Say what your title is again, Sean. Give us your
I'm
title.
a buildings and systems engineering manager in
All
South
right.
Florida.
Nice.
And I'll share this with you. That's not a shameless plug. That's an actual plug. That's an actual plug. And I'm gonna share something with the Run Tell That family. Share with you all too. I no longer go and say PWIs. I say non-HBCUs. Non-HBCUs. That's why I'm going to. I say this is non-HBCU right here. Non-HBCU. That would be, we control the language. So I just throw that out there to
Keep
y'all. So yeah,
teaching. Keep teaching.
yeah.
And
So
that's another lesson. We ought to always be learners, lifetime.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So now I'll let y'all know this, with some of y'all probably aware. This Run Tell That is the little brother show of all the ATR shows. So all the other shows, they got 5 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours. That's how they do it. Now, Ron, tell that we have like 57 minutes. And sometimes they might tell we got another minute. They'll cut us off. Depend on who's doing the engineering. So we are down to like, oh, it's 51. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Oh, we got 51 minutes. Oh, okay. So we got a little bit more time. So I want to get into this again. What are the things that our people need to know? And with regards to National Freedom Day and all other days, because again, it's not one day. This is every day, because that one again, Mr. Producer put out there 9 minutes. Oh my God. We got 9 minutes. Oh, hallelujah. Look at this one. Only because Dr. Jordan right here, if it was by just me, but bam, you don't even care. Cut us off. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Oh, Dr. Jordan, I'm going to say this too. Oh, because they work at Apple. So that means that I got a contact with regards to my, my AirPods and also my iPhone, right? I can just contact you about it when it's an issue, right, Dr. Jordan?
You can try.
But I bet you if I was Terry Mobley, it won't be no problem. But that's another story. Let me get it together. Okay, I'm getting together. So
we want the reach to go beyond. Here's the thing. I know you're just saying that in jest, but let's make that a teachable moment also. When we are working with one another, let's get out of the mindset of a hookup. Let's take that mindset and take it to another level. And so, like as Sean was so articulate, using our placement to lift as we climb. Let's just lift as we climb. And so that's one of the things that I think people want to know what they can do already. They can contact me at jordanca@savannahstate.edu. Jordan and the first 2 initials of my first name at savannahstate.edu. If you want more information, and if you want to partner, let me say that. If you'd like to partner with these efforts, because we don't wait. Now we're already planning Freedom Day 2023. That's another thing. We're already planning Freedom Day 2023. So if you want to lend yourself to the effort, if you want to add to the lighten our load and cast a net wider and think out of the box with us, then that's one thing that you can do. And you can also go on Savannah State's website into the giving, and there's a drop-down box where you can make a donation to Savannah State to the National Freedom Day program. So that's something that can be ongoing. You don't have to wait till February. Let's build enough in our treasury so that we can increase. That's a word, increase.
And just to let y'all know that this is Dr. Jordan. This side, you try and handle me all the time. I might do something, but she's gonna try bring me down to level me out. And then here go Terry Mobley talking about, I need to just let y'all stay in y'all. I need to get out y'all lane, let y'all do that. And see, also let y'all know this. Reverend Jordan is my mama preacher, my sister preacher, my family preacher. I'm just like that's why she's gonna bring me back in. Even though I might want to go wild, but she's gonna bring me back in. That's she's always gonna do that. But I ain't gonna say no, I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, my brother, where do we need to go? Where you see us going? And I'm gonna cut you off for a second. I want the audience to understand this. This brother who's talking, Wesley, don't just get him right now for National Freedom Day. This is a brother that y'all need to get all the time. Talking about motivational speaker. This brother right here is able to touch the masses. I want to throw it out there. I had to interrupt you on that. And this is not a shameless plug. That's an actual plug. You all need to know how to contact this brother. This brother is magnificent and powerful. He has a purpose, and he gives it to everybody.
Thank you for that, brother. And I really appreciate it, and I feel that. The reason it took me a moment is because it's been so beautifully covered throughout the living, breathing discussion that we've been having in the entirety throughout the duration of this stream. And the real thing that I want to just have everybody ponder on is freedom is a lifestyle. Being liberated is a state of being. To be liberated, that's a state of being. You have to exist like that all the time if you are truly liberated. You can't be entrapped part time, and you can't be free part time. You know, there's a saying that some would argue, but it's that the way you do something is the way that you do everything, right? And I'm sure that we're all familiar with that to some degree. And I'm a firm believer in the way you do something is the way you do everything. If you approach everything with a critical thought process, if you approach one thing like that, you're a critical thinker. You know, that's how your mind operates. Now, the application of it may change, but you are a critical thinker in essence. If you are a passionate person when you play sports, you're not just passionate about sports, you're a passionate person. It's going to translate into other things. If you are liberated, you are a liberated individual. You're not liberated sometimes. So I want to make sure that everybody is evaluating themselves. And this is a reminder to everybody that may not be there or may struggle, but evaluate yourself and truly say, hey, you know, am I free? Am I liberated? Do I believe that? And and the way that you gauge that is, are you liberated all the time? Are there moments where you feel like you are in chains, where you feel like you're trapped? Because if that's the case, then there's a little bit more work that needs to be done before you're truly liberated. And I think that the concept, the topic that we had, the theme, and a tale of liberation, it was so beautiful because I believe that it took people to a place that they never took themselves to in relation to their HBCU experience, right? They never looked at it as a pathway to freedom. And education frees you. It frees you from ignorance. It frees you from the inability to think critically. It frees you from the misconceptions that networking is bad. It frees you from whatever misconceptions that there are out here in the world that you have to do everything on your own, right? And Dr. Jordan said it a number of times. We're not here to do everything on our own. You have to orchestrate the plays, and then you have to have the right people in place to carry those things out. It doesn't work if one cog in the machine is not functioning properly. It's not going to function at peak performance. It's just like our car, right? You know what I mean? Your car, your antifreeze low, the whole car not working. Start smoking. You know what I mean? So an antifreeze, you go buy it $20 a bottle at the automotive store, right? So it's such a simple thing. But if your antifreeze tank is not full, your car starts smoking and don't move. So I just want everybody to marinate on that. And again, just reflect on everything that was said on this call. And watch the video in its entirety because it got deep out there and very valuable. Thank you.
And we are not coming to the end. Again, it's SSU Student Life on YouTube. Check out the video. Contact them. Contact us if you need to get in touch with them. And it's been an honor to have you all on here and to talk about National Freedom Day of our father, the father of Tiger Nation. That's Major Richard R. Wright. And I know the time is going down, so that way we don't have no issue with the producer. But again, we thank you all. We say share, share, share. Look at that mask right there. That's a beautiful mask right there, but I'm going to leave that alone for right now. I'll be over there. If not tomorrow, I'll be there on Friday to get the mask. But again, thank you all. Brother West, Dr. Jordan, we love you all. Appreciate y'all. And to the Run Tell That family, be blessed. Continue striving. Again, freedom is a lifestyle. You live it every day.
Amen.
Peace and blessings.
Bless you. Thank you for having us.